So, very interesting. We just downloaded and installed the first update. We're at 1.3, and I was looking online to see what they fixed, and it seems like they tried to address quite a long list of issues. Um, a couple of things of note. One said that they tried to improve the draw distance and improve the whole issues with pop in and stuff. So visuals should be better stabilized and improved in some regard. They tried to reduce crashes, which I did experience a couple of crashes, and so hopefully we see far less of that happening. They said that they were going to reduce the reward amount for contracts that involve the wood transport. So that was disappointing to hear, because wood transport is like a wonderful moneymaker. They're going to nerf it a bit. But yeah, just tons and tons of fixes were made. Now, this is episode 11 for us, and I did not have this game on the very first day. I had to wait a couple days for it to ship, because I got a physical copy for the PS5. And so this game's been out about 2 weeks. Nice to see. I know there was lots of harumphing from people online about the game, saying, oh, like they shouldn't have released it in this and that condition. And I definitely understood where they were coming from in terms of they were disappointed in some of the visuals and such. And certainly people that were struggling with game crashes, that's terrible. One of the interesting things I saw was that it said that the old windmill water pump was going to be changed to free. That you can. So let's try that. Let's see if that's now working. Because we have a small water thingamabob, right? Yeah, our cedar is in the way, but we've got the Lizard MKS-8. So let's hop in the Challenger. Nope, that's not our Challenger. That's a contract. So let's move our cedar out of the way. Ah! Try not to slam into the diesel fuel container. That can't be good. Alright, let's see if we can sneak to cedar through the... Why is this? The steering's different now. No, I'm just an idiot. There we go. Whew, got it. Alright, so the cedar we can set aside for now. Let's grab our there we go. Water tanker. Let's head past the water trough for the cows. And let's see if we can't dump some of this water out. Nope, we can't seem to. go slowly. Slowly? Oh, I had it. Saw it? Oh. Okay. So now let's head over to... Where is this water thing I'm about? Around the other side of this, right? So let's drive. It says start filling. So it is filling. Our money isn't dropping, so I'm assuming it will stay not dropped at the end. Now, funnily enough, I never tried this prior to the update. I would have to assume that for the update to say that it's now free, that it wasn't free. Because the first time I filled this up, I used the river water. So I didn't even go to this thing. Alright, so we've got 8,000 liters. Oh, I don't want to destroy the crops. Turning is very different. I do have to say that I find it a little jarring to try to turn now. I wonder if we can sneak in the side. Can we drive this thing through the middle, all the way through? Sort of. Not really ideal. This thing's kind of all out of whack now. Straighten it out. So, not unexpected that Giants would update the game, but certainly appreciated that they did update the game. I noticed one of the things was very odd was the fencing. Anytime I was around fencing, you'd see quite a bit of pop-in and weird graphical stuff happening. I don't know if I've seen this. Now that it's in its first growth state, we've got our wheat with our 100% yield bonus in some sections. Unfortunately, I don't think the entire area was mulched. So yeah, once you get to the other field sections, it goes down from 100% yield bonus to 97. But that's still really good. We definitely had to work pretty hard to get the soil in shape, and I'm really happy that we got to where we are. And then there's the barley, our nice barley field over here, also at 97%. Looks pretty much the same as the wheat does in its first growth state. But yeah, our fields are doing really well. So we're on update 1.3, but you know what? Some things change, but others remain the same. We're still just doing what we've been doing, right? We have to do contracts. I wonder if I make this, get a bunch of, maybe we'll do this, do a bunch of loops instead of so many lines back and forth, back and forth. We'll just do the loops. Let's see how that works. All right, so let's open this up. Let's save the game. This is our first contract with, now that we're on update 1.3. Turn on the stone. Oh, unfold the stone picker. Did I bring the cart over? I did bring the cart over. Thanks, me from yesterday. Oh no, I didn't know about the government sign being broken. Are those the things that give you like money every month? Oh, okay. I don't really use those, but I know that there's one that I have, like a solar panel came with the farm, and I didn't get rid of it. It's been giving me a little bit of money. I was just reading some of the notes about this update 1.3. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a good idea. They just updated to 1.3, and I know they fixed quite a few things. It was a big list, you know, of things they fixed. So it's nice to see Giants providing, you know, a ton of support and working with gamers in the community to, you know, to fix any issues with the game. One of the things that is very different now is the steering. Let me go to settings, because I think there is a setting for steering. Vehicle control. Maybe it's in general settings. Here we go. Steering sensitivity. What happens if you crank it up? Does that feel like more like it used to? It seems to. I noticed right away that the steering felt very different with this new update compared to what I was used to. Now the thing that they were talking about was they tried to adjust the draw distance. I mean, I never expect to see completely into the distance. I always expect some kind of draw distance. The big problem I noticed on console was the fences. It really had a hard time, for some reason, with the fences would kind of like change their color and stuff and how thick they looked. That was very dramatic. They also said they're going to reduce the amount of money that the wood delivery contracts paid out. Sad to see, but they did say that they were going to increase. Whoops, there's a sign I destroyed. They're going to increase the price of like damaged wood or something. I'm guessing maybe for like when you have to like remove dead wood, maybe that they increased how much you can sell the dead wood for. I don't know. We'll have to see. I've never really gotten into the Mud Runner games. You know, those types of terrain options that they have in that though are very, very different than what we normally see here. Looks like a pretty cool game. Now, with Mud Runner, was that also multiplayer? I feel like it had a thing where, like, yeah, multiple people could kind of try to drag stuff through tough terrain and help each other out. I haven't tried multiplayer yet with this game. But we're doing okay. We managed to crack 200K. I'm trying to think if that's the first time. That might be the first time I've made it over 200K on hand. So easy to spend money in this game. We're trying to save up for some of that nice MacDon grain harvesting equipment to get the bonuses, the yield bonuses that it offers come the summer. So on top of the yield bonuses we have for the soil amendments that we did, well, we can get a nice big yield bonus for having the MacDon harvester. Do some swathing. Tomorrow, of course, is Thanksgiving. So for anyone watching this now or in the future, I hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving. Now that game came out a while ago. What was it that made you pick it up recently? That'll do it. You get that itch. No, that game looked really interesting. It has all sorts of interesting mechanics where you have to keep like your vehicle has all these stats in terms of what it's good at driving through versus what it struggles with, and durability that has to be maintained. You have to like plan a route, which hazards you're going to try to take on to get to the delivery route. It looked pretty cool. All right, before we go around this big field one more time, let's get rid of this stone. Let's get rid of the stone in this thing. I wonder how much these trailers cost. The little kipper. Let's look at our menus now that we're in 1.3. No, that's interesting to have, like, you know, your tires, you know, because that, I'm sure it happens all the time where your tires get like bogged down. Let's see. Would it be under the little kipper be under trailers? There's the kipper. Is this the kipper? Yeah, little kipper, half pipe. 36. Which one do we have? We have like a little tiny one. Might be the Farm Tech. But this holds quite a bit, even though, and it holds a lot of different stuff too. Even though it's nice and low to the ground. Not a bad small trailer. Keep an eye on that. Did anything change in the discount shop? It's a Mack truck. What is this? Slurry. And a big Krone Big X forage harvester. Oh, okay. Okay, let me look at that. Sure, good eye, good eye. Farm Tech. It says one own. Oh, I see what you're just saying. The little garage symbol has the one next to it. Nice. All right, so let's turn this back on after we unfold it, of course. I knew that. Let's go. So in addition to better harvesting equipment, I would like to purchase a mulcher as well. I know it's a small 3% bonus, but I don't know. I always like to make sure that we've done every possible thing to give our crops an advantage. I don't know what is the general consensus on mulching. Do people think it's worth it, or is it for 3% that they say don't bother? I guess it's personal choice. I was curious to see if the update had changed anything dramatically on the contracts list, but it doesn't seem to have altered anything on the list that we had when we left the game last. I did notice that it said that the sugar beet harvester could now be used to harvest red beets as well, which is nice because the harvesters for the red beets and the parsnips and the carrots are just awful. Do you remember what kind of contract it was? That it gave you an issue? A mowing contract. Huh. The mowing contracts usually I like. They don't give you a ton of money, but they're usually very quick to complete. So far, I've had trouble with cotton for whatever reason. When I tried to do a cotton harvesting contract, it doesn't register that I'm collecting cotton off the field. Like normally, when you harvest a crop, the meter will, for completion, will fill up to like 80%, and then the last 20% is you like delivering it. For the cotton harvesting, I was going around with the leased harvester, and the meter wasn't filling up at all. And then when I went to go deliver it, you know, it was only registering like still what you'd normally get for delivering, which is like about 20%. So that was all janked. Maybe what we'll do is after I finish this, we'll save the game. Now that we've got this update 1.3, we'll see if that is something that somehow works now, or if it's still there's still things that bugs are ironing out. I'm sure there's still plenty of bugs are ironing out. I want to know if the cotton thing is one of them. You can do it. You can do it. I believe. It was interesting to see how upset people were getting about the fact that there were obvious bugs in this game at launch. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, you know, I can't recommend this game." I don't know. I played it a couple days after it launched, and while my experience wasn't flawless, I still think that the game ran well enough. I mean, it wasn't broken, and it's nice to see that so many things have already been addressed. You know, I guess it depends on the company. Giants, I have a lot of Giant, you know what? I give Giants credit though, because like I always felt like they work pretty well with their customers to kind of keep things running smoothly and updating their games. You know, they have good communication with people. They don't, you know, they don't, it's not like there's like silence, you know, they set it up so that people can work with them and help them make the game better as soon as possible. And this game has a lot of cool features that 22 did not have. So I definitely feel like it's a step up. I haven't tried the other maps yet. I figured I'd start here, and then maybe down the road I'll try other maps. Oh, nice. I saw that they had like what do they call that? They had one of those things for sale where like you can what do they call that when like stuff launches down the road and you can pay ahead of time. Game like a not a game pass. Um, you know what I'm talking about? Where you could no like obviously you can pre-order the game itself, but then there's like expansions that you could kind of prepay for. Like a seasonal pass, is that it? Seasonal pass or season pass? I think I saw something about a season pass, but I wasn't sure what kinds of things would be offered in a season pass. Because it wasn't cheap. It was like almost the cost of the game itself. So I was like, what on earth are they offering? Let's see if I Google it. FS 25 season pass. Yeah, year one season pass. They say, oh, yeah, it's a savings. It's like, okay, it's like it says savings, but like, what is it? Yeah, it's expensive. What's included? It says it includes more machines, brands, gameplay, whole new environment to grow your farming business, 3 official packs they're gonna have, and 1 large expansion. Starts coming out the first quarter of next year. You know, normally I would never, like, I don't know, not never, but most of the time I'm never like interested in season passes. The only thing about Farm Simulator 22 is like, I know myself and I tend to play this game for like thousands of hours. So like when I look at it that way, I'm like, eh. Yeah. When I look at it that way, when you have a game that you're gonna play like that much, it doesn't feel so bad investing in something. I was just a little unsure of like what exactly you're getting. Maybe I'll decide once. I would imagine like even after the season, even after the first pack drops at the first quarter of 2025, I would imagine you could still buy the season pass, right? They're not going to stop offering access to the season pass. I thought maybe I'd wait and see what was included as part of it, so I have a better sense of like what I'm actually trying to pay. Like, where's my money going? Like, what am I getting for this? There is a whole new map. That is tempting to have access to a whole new map. You never want to be the person that doesn't have all the maps. Alright, so maybe at some point I'll buy it. Meanwhile, this contract is coming along swimmingly. We're already up to about 80% done. We finished doing a whole bunch of headlands. I like maxed out the headlands on this so we could just do big circles. But now we gotta do some back and forth. So we'll do that. Now, what map are you still working on? Riverbend Springs? Is that where your save game is? Nice. Yeah. Listen, you gotta start somewhere. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Now, listen. You gotta prioritize what's important to you in your life, and you know, the farm sim is always going to be there, but certainly there's people that are counting on you. You got to do what you got to do. So completely understandable. aren't you jealous that I'm able to sit here and for hours picking up rocks? Don't you wish you could be me? Time flies, man. Before you know it, you guys will be playing Farm Sim 37 together. Co-op. Your little farming assistant. Alright, now we're starting to get some long stretches where we don't have to turn around quite as frequently. But we're also almost full again. Time flies when I play this game, man. I start up a stream. What is this? This is already 40 minutes in. It's like unbelievable how quick time goes when you play this game. I always feel like, oh, I'll do a couple quick contracts. How long can it take? But my perception of time as it relates to me playing this game is so far from reality, it's scary. Yeah, except for when I was harvesting carrots. I felt every minute of that 3 hours that I played harvesting carrots. That was awful. It's like torture. That's why I was so glad to see that they made it so you could harvest the other type of red beets with the sugar beet harvester. I was like, oh, alright. Like, at least one of the new crops has like a better harvest system. Those new harvesters are rough. 0.8 meter working with. Yeesh. I don't mind the stone picker one. Oh no. No, that doesn't sound fun. I do want to try a poplar field, and I do want to try growing trees because they have all these interesting little buildings you can build now if you produce the lumber for them, and that seems kind of cool. Now I don't think the poplar connects to that in any way, shape, or form, but I did still want to try growing poplar and making money from it. I never really got into that in FS22. Oh, come on, that's brutal. Did I not just empty this thing? What's going on? Oh, that's the completion for the contract. Alright. When I plant poplar, I'm definitely going to use the AI worker. I don't plan on sitting there doing it. But right now, we're all about the grains. Starting off simple. All the equipment we had that we started out with was for grains, so I figured I'd stick with grains. At some point, I'm gonna have to make a grass field if I'm gonna keep the cows. Oh look, we finished contract. Alright, let's get this all squared away. going to be a while before I have the money to do much of anything else. If I'm going to be doing grains, I might as well buy a flour mill and a bakery, and that's going to set me back quite a bit. Alright, we got 5,200 liters of stone. Where are we? Way up north. Bumping into fences. Alright, here we go. Carriage maker. $46 and $84. 46 and 84. Ooh, okay. Got this little guy over here. And then 84. Was when you said the mowing one, is that like the contract that got rejected was on 84? Let's see. I see 85, I see 81, I see 86. I like field 82 a lot. I might do up by the ferry. I might do greenhouses and such, maybe a canning facility over here. This is like a nice little perfectly rectangular flat up by the ferry. Now the ferry, oh, I see. I see. This is a pretty big field. I gotta remember to save the game, because even though they said that they worked on things that prevent crashing, we still don't want to assume that it's never going to crash. So like the fences don't look completely wonky now. They did fix the fences a lot. The fences used to like have weird massive texture changes as you'd get close to them. It was one of the most obvious like visual glitches in the game that I saw. Alright, let's get these down to the rock crusher. Let's turn to 2nd Street by the blue pool. Honking the horn still works in 1.3, which is good. Alright, let's make a right-hand turn. Oh, okay. Alright, we got just under 500 for selling the rocks. My assumption is there are no other stone picking contracts. No. So let's go ahead and do what we talked about. We're gonna complete this. We'll collect the 500 and 5,362 plus the about 500 or so. So like 5,800 roughly. Not bad, not bad. And then let's save the game. And I don't have the autosave on. And let's go to one of let's go to that big, well, there was a big cotton harvesting. Now it's gone. Let's try, maybe we'll try this one. Field 60. It's not too far away from where the vehicles spawn. Yeah. All right, we'll try to borrow items for this. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, let's pop into the John Deere cotton harvester. Let's make our way across the bridge to the field. And the big question is going to be, as we harvest cotton, does the meter go up for the contract? Completion meter. In the past, the answer was no. But now we're living in a world of 1.3. Everything has changed. What has not changed is the speed of this harvester. It's still quite slow and sluggish. Look at the size of this thing. Enormous. You know what I want to do? I want to explore this little island one of these days. I've never run around here to see what I can find. It's got a lot of tiny little paths and roads and stuff. I'm sure I could find some cool little bits and pieces there. All right, let's start unfolding this thing. And then we're going to turn it on. One of the interesting things about the cotton harvester is when you turn it on, it actually lowers the header, which not all the harvesters do. And I guess, should we set up? Why not? If you're going to do it, might as well do it how we normally do it, which is we set up And let's see. See the contract harvesting field 60. We're not getting any progress. Even though we're taking cotton off of... Oh, no, no, it went up, it went up. Look at that. 1.3. It's fixing stuff. Are cotton contracts doable now? I feel like it's not filling up quite as fast as I would like it to fill up in terms of... Have we only done 2% of the field? I feel like we've done more than 2%. Let's see. Let's see where this ends up. Will this allow us to complete this contract? Any predictions? Anyone want to hazard a guess? Will this actually work? Or are we just wasting our time yet again on a broken cotton contract? My concern is that the percentage that it's going up seems a little low. So I'm not entirely convinced that it's fixed, but we'll see. We will see. All right. Glass half full. I love it. I love it. You say 1.3 has fixed all of our woes. The game is a well-oiled machine now. Nothing can go wrong. I know that's not what you said. Because there's... Yeah, I know. The hard part about this is there's two parts to this, right? So the first part, which is going well, which I will admit is going well, is that our progress meter for the contract is progressing. So that's good. It wasn't doing that before. Now we have 1.3. It is doing that. That's great. What we still have to get past is the fact that will we be able to sell enough cotton so that it accepts the contract as completed. And that's always been a challenge, even in FS22. I'm gonna need a lot of stuff. So if I can make a bunch of money harvesting cotton, I'll take it. All that Macdon stuff is expensive. What do you want to grow on your field? Did you go with the starter farm, or did you just take the cash and you're gonna do your own thing? It sounds like you just took the cash and you're gonna do your own thing. Alright, second headland. The first one was 15% complete. The second one is just about 30. So we're on track. I'm going to skip over to this line. Save the little bitty line for last. I do like a nice grass field. If this works, and then I can pick up like a few of these cotton contracts. How many are available? Maybe there's not as many as I thought. Oh, it looks like they got rid of them. What the heck? There's only 61. Alright, well, I'll do 61 for 5,800. No lease cost. I'll just use this equipment. So this is where you're gonna kind of build your infrastructure, and then 43 is gonna kind of be your first field that you grow stuff on. What are you looking to grow? Also grass? Okay. Now, do you like to play with seasonal growth, or do you just like to not be bothered with that and play whenever it's ready to harvest, you harvest it, and then you replant it and just keep going? I leave everything on. I feel like they put it in the game. I don't mind. Like, let's just leave it on. I leave on seasonal growth. I put the crop damage on. I put plowing on, weeds on. All the any little option that you can turn on, I leave on. Well, while I do appreciate the many new features and the graphical and audio changes, I feel like at its core, everything seems pretty familiar. You know, there's nothing where I'm like scratching my head trying to figure out what on earth is going on with this mechanic or that mechanic. Certainly there's... yeah, I hear you. There's new machines that I'm not familiar with, but slowly but surely. It all comes back real quick. You start doing 3-4 hours of contracts, and you're like, I remember this. I gotta say though, as a console player who never had access to this whole GPS thing, it is a game changer. The fact that my vehicles stay on a line now, I don't have to touch a button. I don't have to try to keep them right at 180 degrees or 0 degrees or 90 degrees to keep them straight, constantly adjusting, looking at the bottom numbers. It's wonderful. Now I understand why all the PC players were like, why don't we have GPS? This is great. Alright, we're at 50% completion. Again, we've only got to get it up to 80% for all the cotton to be harvested off the field. Ooh, our first bale of cotton, jumbo-sized. Look at that thing, massive. And that's the thing, right? So like if we're harvesting cotton and it took us a little over 50% to get a full bale of cotton, and the meter only goes up to 80% for the harvesting aspect of it, that means that there's no way that it would ever normally release a second bale to sell, right? Because I only technically have a little less than 30% to go, and then I'll be done harvesting. And it took us to get to 50% before we got a bale out. But we have the partial bale, and hopefully the partial bale is enough that when we sell everything, it checks the box. But I still have not saved this since we started. And because of the risk factor of cotton contracts, I don't plan on saving it until I'm certain everything is worked out. The last thing I can afford to do is get dinged. Yeah, so I can drop this thing off on the side, and then I have to come around with that truck that's back at the spawn point and scoop it up somehow. I think if I back up to it or something, it has like a kind of like a motorized floor that picks it up, puts it in the big trailer. The other thing I want to work on in this playthrough, similar to poplars, and that it's something I never tried out before, is I want to try raising pigs. I just need to get a lot more stuff under my belt before I try that. They just need a lot of different types of food. I'd like to do dairy cows. I'm still disappointed at how much it costs to try out olives and grapes. Ooh, should I do a buffalo farm instead of a regular dairy farm with cows? I didn't think about that. Do they have different production chains for milk from a buffalo versus milk from the cow? Tailor shop. Where's the dairy? Oh, I guess you have to go in the build menu. That makes sense. Construction. Looking for factories. Yeah. Dairy. Let's look at the prices for stuff. Because it looks like there's a variety of milks. I see what, so if you have buffalo milk. Buffalo milk maxes out at 6,800. But somehow if it's bottled, it maxes out at 4,840. So I don't really know what the difference between buffalo milk but bottled buffalo milk. There's buffalo mozzarella. Huge price, 14.5. Jeez. Versus regular cheese, not nearly as expensive as buffalo mozzarella. And I want to look at regular milk. There's goat milk. And there's regular milk. Oh yeah, regular milk is like a lot less expensive than the maximum price. All right, we're on our last 5%. After this contract is sorted out, I'm gonna go for tonight. But I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow, or today if you're watching this tomorrow, or had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're watching it after tomorrow. Oh no, oh thank you bud, I appreciate that. I got that one last little half row to go down and then we'll be done. And then we're gonna, before I go to the end of that row, what we'll do is we will drop off this thing. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna unload the baler. Is that the right button? There's no like... Yeah. There it goes. Puts the little thing back up. Okay, the harvester is on. We're going to lower it. So this will be the last little bit. Then we'll drive back up and we'll unload the partial bale. Go. Nice. So let's pick up the header. Let's turn off the harvester. Make our way back to the top of the field at a blistering 17 miles an hour. And we'll spin it around. Bam. Alright, now let's see how this works. Unload unfinished bale. 5,137 liters in the main chamber. And it puts it into the little rear compartment. Now we still are holding on to just about 1,700 liters. So let's see if turning those two bales in is enough. The International Transstar 2 on the way. I will turn left onto the main road, cross the bridge. Gotta make sure to turn left by the Big Blue store. I always miss this turn. There we go. Moving at a respectable 46, 7. 8, 9, 50. Alright, is there a operating position? Oh god. Risky, very risky school bus. Oh look, it like sucked it up in there. I'm nervous at first. I was like, where'd it go? Kind of weird angle. Let's straighten it out a bit. And back it up a bunch. Come back here. There we go. So I did approach it from the wrong side. Apparently, you gotta approach it from the part that's white instead of the part that's yellow. Let's go into transporting position, and we're gonna bring this. We're gonna bring this northeast. Alright, watch out for the stop signs. As we turn with this big mamma jamma. I've already plowed into a bunch of the poor street signs. I always feel so bad. Send them flying. I'm gonna have to check out what's going on at Field 53 one day. Alright, stay to the left. Yeah, no sleeping in this cab. Stay awake. Alright, let's try to get this up and around. Look at them advertising their season pass. They're like, don't you want the new map? Alright, now the question is, where do we offload? Do we offload behind there or up here? Probably up here, right? It's got the offloading truck symbol. No? Maybe we back up. This is probably where the output. How come it didn't show the usually when you pop into an unloading zone it triggers the unload symbol. Is there anything on the other side that I'm missing? There might be. Let's take a look. We don't want to be too hasty. Nice little water wheel. All this, whatever all this is. Very odd. Alright, let's see what happens when we offload here. Alright, there we go. We completed a cotton contract. We got 1,900 in cash for selling the bales. Yeah, it worked. I don't like that it didn't follow tradition and give me the unloading sign when I backed into the right sell point, but it worked. So now, what I'm gonna do, not on stream but off stream, is I will. Well, first of all, let's save the game because that's a huge win, right? That's a huge win. Cotton contracts went from being broken to working just fine. So next, what I'm gonna do is off stream. I'm gonna accept the cotton contract for Field 61, but I'm not going to borrow the items. I'm going to keep the equipment that I currently have, and I'm going to keep on doing that for as many of these cotton fields as I can. I'll do Field 85. We mentioned already Field 61, and I think that's it for now. That's on here. So that's the plan. Thanks so much for hanging out. It was a pleasure. And, ooh, that's a nice, lush cultivating contract as well. So many contracts, so little time. But the good news is, by the end of November, we'll have a nice chunk of change. Now, Bud, you don't stream your farm sim playthrough, right? Is that correct? Or do you stream it at all? I definitely would be curious to see how your farm does over time. Anyway, let's call it quits there. I'll talk to you. I'll see you guys soon. Until next time, so long.